What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast. Now, I'm Alex, and in this video, I'm going to be going over my top 3 best perks for both the Predator and the Fireteam. So it's actually technically 6 in all, 6 perks, but 3 for each. I'm going to go over more that I think you could definitely use, and I'll kind of give my explanation of that and how to basically use these perks in general. But I do want to quickly say in the beginning of this video that this is part of our continued Predator coverage. We're going to be continuing talking about this game basically every single day on this channel. On my second channel, I'll be continuing to leave that link in the description if you guys want to check it out and subscribe there. We're also going to have Predator videos on that channel, so loads of Predator stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. I know a lot of people ask for expert tips and tricks. I will be doing that. I'm going to be talking about some things that the game should add, some fun ideas I've thought of, so lots of really fun, pretty different videos coming up. Now, I know people will say, I've done a lot of these kinds of videos with like perks or skills, you know, how a lot of games have like skill points you can use. I've done this before, and what you do often get is a lot of people that do criticize. Again, these are just my opinions. These are just what I've found to work really, really well. With the Fireteam, I've seen a lot of people use the same perks as me. You can easily see that, right, when you go into a match and you can see everybody else's loadout. So some of these that I picked also do have, you know, everybody else kind of doubling up on what I'm picking. It's not just what I've used. But again, I'm going to go over some extra ones at the end as well. And again, these are just kind of ones that work for me. So let's go over Fireteam first. The first one that you have to unlock later, I think it's somewhere in like the late 20s or early 30s. Now, I'm a level 41, I believe, or 40 at the time you guys are seeing this video. I haven't gotten to 100 yet, but I will. Give me a couple more days, and I'm going to try and get there. So I haven't unlocked everything, but I have put things that are unlocked later in this list. So not everything is given right from the beginning, but some of them are. Ice Cold, again, is like late 20s, early 30s that you unlock it, and it reduces your thermal temperature, so it makes it harder for the Predator to see you. Now, this is one that it was in the trial. It was one that I used in the trial, and I felt like it gave me an edge. Now, I don't know how much of an edge. I haven't looked it up. I don't know how, like, specifically how much this helps you. Obviously, the mud helps you actually quite a bit. It really does kind of muffle how well the Predator can actually see you. If that's what you're in for, if like your purpose in this game is like you don't want the Predator to find you, you want to make it as hard as possible, I think this is a good one. I mainly chose this because this, again, I feel like this worked for me in the trial. It was locked, you know, much later on in the actual game, and then as soon as I unlocked it, I put it on. I feel like it's one that can definitely help you. It's one that, you know, while I don't suggest going off on your own and doing things, if you were to, obviously having mud or having this or having both, I feel like is the best way to do it, because the Predator basically cannot see you at that point. So if there was ever a time to split off from your group and do your own stuff, or maybe, you know, 2 of your people have died and you're going to go try to, you know, bring them back, but then somebody else is going to do the objective, maybe you split up to try and confuse the Predator, which I have seen. I've actually done that and it has worked. That could be a way to do it. So again, just it worked for me. It may not work for everybody. Another one is Action Hero. Now, I believe Action Hero requires very little points. It's either like 1 or 2 points. And so this is one that I've like added on because the other 2 that I use are higher points. So I believe the Ice Cold is like 4 points. Now, you can only have up to 9, and actually, you know, if you have a support, you have 6. I think you may have more if you use Scout or Recon, but ultimately, you don't have that many points at your disposal. So I think Action Hero is a pretty solid one. Hip accuracy, most of the time, especially the way the Predators are playing right now, if they jump right in your face, right, or they're attacking one of your allies, most likely they're very close to you. Now, again, it's not always going to work because sometimes they're going to be in the trees, sometimes they're just going to be far away, and you may need to actually aim. But if they're close to you, especially if they're specifically attacking you and you want to do as much damage to them as you can, right, or maybe you're waiting for your allies to come to kind of bail you out of that situation, hip fire, I think, is pretty darn good. Again, it's not, I don't think it's the best. I think there are actually many better, but I think it's a good complement to Ice Cold and the other one that I'm about to say, which is Thick Skin. And Thick Skin, I believe I've seen on almost every single person I've ever played. I don't know how many matches I've played at this point, but I've had to play a lot, and almost every single person has Thick Skin, which increases your overall health. I think this is one of the early ones that a lot of people put on. This one I was rolling along with Action Hero, and I was also rolling Efficient, which is the gaining XP. I think this is a really honestly, and so this is kind of like my, these are like honorable mentions, okay? So I think Thick Skin is a really, really good one. That's my third one. But there are others. I think early on, Efficient is a really, really good one to get more XP. Basically just level up faster, be able to unlock all the other stuff. And like we've talked about, the levels are for both. So if you get to like a level, 44, you unlock the Berserker for the Predator, right? It doesn't just unlock for the Fireteam. And I know a lot of people may say, well, we already know that, but some people may not. So I think it's a really good thing to have. I've seen a lot of people have this. I feel like they're lower leveled people. I think as you get higher up, you do have to kind of just start deciding on obviously moving on from that. I also have seen, and I had used for a little while, Flesh Ripper, which is more damage against the AI. And then one thing that I saw is OWLF Trained, which is less damage from the Predator. This could end up being one of the best, if not the best ones. I believe this is somewhere in the mid-40s that you have to unlock it. I don't have it yet, and I haven't seen people use it, or I haven't seen much of people use it, so I can't be, I'm going to be honest, right? I can't tell you guys like how amazing it is or all like the intricacies of it because I've never used it. I just feel like a perk with the ability that you take less damage from the Predator, I feel like overall that would be a solid one, but I believe, again, that one is also 4 points. So if you're playing Assault, you only have 9 points. If you do that and then you do like Ice Cold, there's 8 points. You can only use one more. You use that and you use Thick Skin, and you can only use a very, very small one. A lot of them do depend on your playstyle. Some increase your movement speed, some increase the speed at which you complete objectives. There's a lot of different ones. Some increase your melee, which I don't necessarily know why you would want that. I guess in some cases it could be pretty productive, but obviously, there are more, and I'm just kind of like, making sure I'm covering my back, right? Because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you didn't include this. It's my own play style. It's how I play the game. I, for one, like increased health. I am a little bit more daring, or the Predator seems to always be attached to attacking me. But there are definitely other ones there. A lot of them are very, very good. It just depends on your play style. And speaking of play style, that's what the Predator is. So, again, I'm going to go over 3, and then I have 2, runners up. But the Predator has a lot. They have a lot of perks, both of them. The Predator, very much you can see, okay, these are perks you would use if you want to be this play style. These are the perks if you want to be this play style. There's like a more attack focus, like if you want to get directly in their faces. There's more range. There's more like running away kind of perks. So again, these are the ones I've been using. I've found, pretty good success with, but it depends very, very much on how you actually play the Predator. So the first one is Fearless, which is extra melee damage. Now, this is for melee. One of my runners up, actually, is downrange, which is extra damage from ranged weapons. So the reason I put this, I put the ranged weapons as the runner-up is I personally do melee, okay? And I think as you level up, a lot of people are obviously using, like, the Elder Sword. Once everybody gets the combi stick, I don't see how people aren't going to use it. The bow is pretty good. I just unlocked that yesterday from when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on Sunday, so Saturday night, I unlocked the bow. I played it a couple times. I liked it. I didn't think it was bad. I actually like the disc. That's a really solid one. Again, it depends on how you play. If you're going to do more damage from far away, from long distance, you may want to increase the long distance one. If you are going to maybe weaken them from long distance, but ultimately get up into their faces and finish them off, again, when a lot of people unlock the combi stick, I feel like everybody's going to have the melee perk. I don't see how you couldn't, right? Because it already does a lot of damage. You put that perk on top of it, and suddenly you're invincible. The second one I use is Impenetrable, which is less damage from bullets. I think this is, again, a pretty, I feel like this one unlocks very early in the game. If not, it's already an unlockable thing. Pretty self-explanatory, right? You just take less damage. I mean, fire teams are getting pretty good. Maybe it's because I'm a higher level, and so I'm matched up against good fire teams. I have seen fire teams that split up. I've been in fire teams where 1 or 2 of my members just decides to go rogue, and we have a really, really tough time. But it seems like whenever I play as the Predator, the fire team is pretty solid and pretty all-in-one. It's only when I play as the fire team that they forget how to play the game. So if you have the fire team looking for you, if they're going to be shooting you in the trees, that's a lot of damage that you really don't want to take. I know that's more like a tips and tricks thing, right? You don't want to take that tree kind of damage of them firing at you from the trees. The damage you probably want to receive as the Predator is when you're taking out one of the fire team and the other ones are shooting you, but then you claim them and run away. That is probably all you want to deal with, but ultimately, same thing there, right? You're going going to take less damage from bullets. And people are still running, you know, all like the assault kind of guns. So I think this is a really solid one to have. And then Light Bender, which is your cloak. The cloak takes less energy from you. I think this is a really, really good one. Again, it depends on your play style. There's also one where the infrared takes less of your energy. So again, it's very much how you play. I like to be cloaked. I think a lot of people... cloaking is obviously very, very important as the Predator. I feel like the Predator, these three that I just listed off, are like very... The only one that you could probably change is the melee one, right? If you're not going to be a melee player, you may want to be something else. But again, it depends on how you want to play. There's another one that reduces the plasma cutter, how well they can see the plasma cutter. I think that's a pretty darn solid one. Again, depends on if you're going to use that a lot. There's one for if taking like long jumps, right? Your leaps. You can leap further. That's a pretty solid one if you're looking to traverse faster or escape them faster, right? There's one for movement speed, moving up like trees faster. There's a lot. They go on and on. There's like 2 of them for that affect your second wind, you know, ability. So there's a lot of different ones. Again, mine are kind of like, okay, well, I basically want like increased health, right? Because I'm going to take less damage. I want to do more damage when I'm hitting them physically, and I also want to stay cloaked as much as possible. Those are the ones that I feel like fit my playstyle. But again, maybe you guys are more traversal like in the trees, in which case you may not do that. Maybe you guys do more long range stuff, and so again, you wouldn't do some of the other stuff. So it very, very much depends on the kind of playstyle you use, but those are the ones that I found to be the most successful. So guys, let me know in the comments below. I know I listed off a lot. There are a lot. There's many, many more perks that I have not listed. Tell us in the comments what are some of the perks that you guys have played with in this game. Let others know, you know, what's like your best loadout for the Fireteam and for the Predator in the comments. So if anybody clicks this video, they can go down there and they could check it out, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have that bell icon turned on because we're going to have a lot more Predator videos in the coming days, okay? Thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.